much is required. And so the more that is placed into your hands, the more you have to be able to handle and deal with and to be able to manage it. And I want to say something to you, to those of you, all of us are leaders in some way. All of us are leaders, whether you're leading your children or whether you're leading your family or just leading yourself. Sometimes it's hard to get yourself to act right. But as we go up in levels of leadership and we begin to develop more responsibility, we also begin to embrace more pressure and more problems and more adversity. And new levels bring new devils, bring new challenges, bring new opportunities, more of everything. Somebody just say more of everything. So when you are where you are right now and you say, I can't take this, I can't handle this, I don't want it anymore, this is driving me crazy, you are saying, I don't want to go any higher. You are rejecting the call to move forward, because moving forward and moving up means more problems. In fact, the problems that you're dealing with right now may be the fact that you are in training for the next level of leadership. If you don't let it break you, if you don't let it destroy you, if you don't whip out and let it beat you down, if you just master the situation, refuse to be intimidated, and learn how to manage the stress on the next level, then doors swing open. There's this magical thing about life, and I believe it's divinely inspired. You know how you go to the grocery store and you stand at a certain spot, you haven't even gotten to the door yet, but when you get in close proximity, the doors should start opening. When you can stand on a level of life where you're dealing with opposition and pressure and turmoil and take a licking and keep on ticking, and it might have stressed you out, you might have felt the pressure, you might have felt like breaking, but you didn't break, doors just start opening up for you to go to the next level. I'm going to talk more about this in a minute, because when I start talking about dealing with conflict, all of the conflict is not external conflict. Some of it is internal conflict. Because when you come from back there and you start moving up further and further and further, and every step you take takes you to a different level of life and living, sometimes your life is moving faster than your mentality. You can have the desk you dreamed about, the position you wanted, the ministry you wanted, the opportunity you wanted, and everything moved up except your perception of yourself. Are you following what I'm saying to you? And we're going to share some things that I believe will prepare you for the next move. And that I want you to understand something, that when God begins to move you along in life, it's not an elevator. It's a step-by-step process. So many people attempt to move forward in a rapid motion. They want to go from midnight to morning. They want to go from the basement to the presidential suite in one step. That's not what you want. You don't want to take the elevator, because if you take the elevator and you get it too fast, you can't handle it. You can't handle it. Oh, I know you want the money, but you can't handle the pressure and the problems and the conflict and the criticism and the opposition. And so God has designed it that you would move along in steps, in stages, not too fast. And every time you take a step, you have to kind of balance yourself and get used to this level of opposition, this level of controversy, this level of conflict, this level of criticism, because, again, that's what they're paying you for, is managing trouble. Are you hearing what I'm saying to you? And just as soon as you get it all down pat, and you've mastered it, and you say, good, I'm comfortable now, this is now my new normal, I'm okay with it, then all of a sudden, you take another step. You're back in a situation where you're learning again, and you're being hit in places you never expected to be hit before, and you're dealing with life on another level, and that happens whether you're in a corporation, whether you're in a church, or whether you're a family and you just had another child. Every time you have a child, new conflict, new problems, new things to deal with, more to manage, more to handle. You just got used to having one, you come back from the doctor, now you're getting ready to have two. Everything's got to shift, everything's got to move. Everything you learned about the first child, doesn't work on the second child. And, oh, come on, somebody knows what I'm talking about. But God is so gracious because he leads you along in steps and stages. And periodically, he will stop the process, allow you to evaluate where you are, to better understand where you are, and put you in a position that you can deal with your heart and mind and emotions that may still be back there where you started. And people are jealous of you and envious of you and fighting you, and they don't understand that you still perceive yourself as if you were where you started. But the steps of the Lord are leading you higher and higher and further and further and further than you've ever been before. Touch somebody and say, take another step. There's another step waiting for you. There's another dimension of life, another dimension of leadership, another dimension of problems, another dimension of conflict, another dimension of faith and finances and family and all of that. And if you don't break, and if you don't bow, and if you don't quit, and if you can maintain your faith in the middle of conflict and opposition, if you can neutralize controversy and learn how to take a licking, keep on ticking, keep your mind together, keep your wits about you, then God has ordered steps for you. And I want to tell you something. Your eyes have not seen, your ears have not heard the things that God has in store for you. He has a blessing for you. He has a promise for you. And all you have to do is stop complaining about where you are. Because when you complain about where you are, you do like Israel. You wander around the wilderness because you're not eligible to make the promotion because you're grumbling about the level you're on right now. You are canceling out the opportunity to go to the next level. If you stop murmuring and complaining and say, I thank you for this conflict. I thank you for this opportunity. I thank you for this controversy. I thank you for this training. I thank you for this opposition. I thank you for this enemy. Order my steps, Lord. Order my steps. Get me ready. I trust you. You wouldn't lead me into this position if you had not equipped me with everything I need for where I am right now. Are you ready for this? Touch three people and say, take another step. 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 Don't be afraid. Don't be intimidated. Don't bow. Don't break. Don't give in. Don't collapse. All you have to do is take another step.
Wow. Special show for you today. We have a special guest by the name of Kimberly Sellers Bates. If you're in the Metro Atlanta area and you do not know who she is, you definitely want to tune in today. She has a great message for us today, some great information that she's going to be disseminating. So I just want to encourage everyone to tune in. Don't turn, just tune in and watch. We also want to say thank you once again to our listeners and our audience. Remember that you can always give us a call if you have a question or a comment for our guest. The number again here at the studio is 404-474-0080. That number again is 404-474-0080. And we're just going to dive right in. I have a lot of great questions to ask Ms. Kimberly Sellers Bates. Once again, if you do not know who this woman is, you are truly missing out. Let me start by welcoming her here today. It is truly an honor and truly a pleasure to have this woman in our studios today. She is so awesome. So, without further ado, let me welcome Ms. Kimberly Sellers Bates. She is the owner of KSTV Enterprises. Please, Ms. Kimberly Sellers Bates, introduce yourself and tell us exactly what KSTV Enterprises is.
Okay, well, first and foremost, thank you very much for having me today. I'm so honored and humbled to be here. KSTV Enterprises was founded by me in 2007. I had a full-time job, and people started to realize that I knew how to write grants and establish organizations as 501c3s. So in the evenings, I was working for them, establishing them as nonprofit organizations, writing grants for them to get funding for their programs. And quite honestly, it was exhausting. But I continued to do it for several months. And one morning, my husband said, listen, either you're going to work full-time at the college or you are going to work for yourself. Well, I had never even considered being an entrepreneur. So I kind of tell people I'm an accidental entrepreneur. We decided that I would try working for myself for 1 year. And that was in 2007. So 10 years later, actually, we're going into our 11th year. Here we are, 22 full-time employees and 4 offices in 4 different states.
Awesome. And you just started 11 years ago. You haven't looked back. So that is awesome. And I know your 22 employees are just, they're just excited and just so happy about what you guys do.
Well, you know, it's been an amazing journey. I started all by myself at the kitchen table, and moved to the dining room table, and finally moved to one of the spare bedrooms in the house. So people started to come to me and tell me they were looking for jobs. They were interested in what I was doing. How could they become a part of our team? And quite honestly, we still get those calls and emails every day. And I decided that I wanted to help people in my community who needed steady employment, who had sustainable skills. And some of the people who work for me now, they have gone through all of my trainings. And how could I not hire them? Because I know now they know their stuff.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm going to tell you, I also attended a training and a workshop that you did last week on how to become a grant writing consultant and how to learn about grant writing. And that workshop was phenomenal. I was so excited. There were a few other people there that were just as excited. I think one person, he tried to take over the class. We were so excited.
Yes. I get those.
Yes, people that just want to take over. But we are truly excited about what you're doing. We're so grateful and so thankful to you for sharing that information with us. We just are just so glad that we have you here in the Metro Atlanta organization to help business owners and aspiring business owners live out their mission and live out their dreams. So the next question that I want to ask you is, what are some of the advantages of having a nonprofit organization versus having a for-profit corporation? There are a lot of people that go into business and they think, oh, I'm going to go in and make a profit, make all of these. But listen now, there are a lot of advantages to having a nonprofit organization. So please tell people about those advantages.
Sure. Well, first and foremost, just because you're a nonprofit does not mean you can't make a profit. We want you to make a profit. The IRS wants you to make a profit. The community needs you to make a profit. The primary difference is if you are a nonprofit, your board members do not get dividends at the end of the year. When you are a nonprofit, you are eligible to receive grants and donations. And there is a significant advantage for the people who are donating to you as they get a tax write-off. Now, when you are a for-profit company, let's use my company as an example. KSTV Enterprises is for-profit. Well, the owners of KSTV is Kim Sellers Bates and my husband, Tadaro Bates. So at the end of the year, if we make $100,000 over, I can take 50 for myself and give him 50 because we're board members. If I was a nonprofit organization and I made $100,000 over, I will put that money back into the program. Now, the executive director can get a raise, the employees can get a raise, you can increase your programs. So, those are the differences, but I absolutely encourage everyone to become a nonprofit because really you're working for the community and for the greater good.
Absolutely, absolutely. What's more important than working for the greater good of the community that you live in or the community that your family lives in? So it's very important. So, Ms. Kimberly Sellers, how can KSTV Enterprises assist individuals that are interested in starting a nonprofit organization? Tell us about your services.
Sure. KSTV Enterprises establishes organizations as nonprofits. We have a 100% success rate in securing nonprofit status for our clients, but we want to do more than that. We also work with our clients to establish what we call a fundraising plan, which means how much money do you need to sustain your organization? Let's just say you need $1 million. So KSTV will work with you to determine how you will get this money. We use 4 funding streams for you to get the money: individual giving, grants, of course, corporate sponsorships, and signature fundraisers. We research the grants for you, we write the grants for you, and we submit the grants for you. And while I'm saying that, I don't want to dismiss my corporations that are listening to me that are for profits. Did you know there are grants available for you all as well? Yes, there are so many grants available for for-profit organizations. So KSTV has gone ahead and expanded to include that as one of our services. Yes, it's a lot of resources available. You know what? The need is just so vast. Although 95% of our clients are nonprofit, we are starting to let people know that there are some grants available for for-profit businesses.
This is some very exciting information. I just want to thank you again for coming and sharing all of this information. We have several more questions that we want to ask you. Okay. And we're just delighted to have you here today with us.
So much. I'm glad to be here, and I want to let you know that KSTV believes very much in entrepreneurship. As I said, I'm an entrepreneur now, an accidental one, but my father was what you would call a serial entrepreneur. He continued to pursue several businesses throughout his lifetime, and at the age of 65, he started building high-end homes. Oh, wow. Yes, he started building these beautiful houses, and the people that he would hire came from the community. Yes, so he trained them. He was a very smart man. Unfortunately, he passed away at 69. But at age 65, can you imagine? He finally found out what his passion was. And so KSTV very much believes in entrepreneurship and allowing people to live their passion. It's so important that you do what you love. The money will come. The money will absolutely come. I'm one of those people that love to research for money. And so that's a passion of mine. And so I had to figure out how to turn my passion into profit. And that's why KSTV exists.
Awesome. That is some great information. And it's just remarkable that you're able to follow your father's footsteps as well and live out your passion. So that's very important. I can't stress that enough to people. You can do what you love without oftentimes worrying about the money. The money will come, and if you're doing what you love to do, and you're doing it with that passion and that drive and that determination behind you, people will support you.
They really will.
People will support you. You'll have companies and organizations jumping out the window to be attached to what you're doing. Does it happen overnight? No, it doesn't happen overnight, but it will. It will happen. Yes. And that's one of the things that I love about KSTV Enterprises. I didn't even know that you were branching off into helping the for-profits as well.
And we're also really trying to push entrepreneurship. Just a month ago, we decided that we would train other people who are interested in becoming grant writing consultants. We have a new publication out now, a guidebook where it takes you from step A all the way through on how to start your business, how to market your business, how to price your business. That's something that came to me in the middle of the night. So many people call me every day and say, I want to pick your brain. I want to see how you do what you do. And, I said to myself, how about I just write this down? So that, because, knowledge is power. And I want to share this knowledge. And honestly, it's enough business going around for everybody. So I'm now holding these sessions with people who are interested in becoming a great writing consultant, because Forbes has said that over 79 million people will start a home-based business within the next 7 years.
That is some very, very, very vital information. I hope people are taking heed to the fact of those statistics, because home-based businesses, it's very important right now.
So, especially right now. You are absolutely right. What I try to explain to people is that with me, I learned early on to have a great work ethic, to be organized, and the more I worked, the more money I made. Of course, I wasn't in it for the money, but I started to realize things very early on. I share with my clients that I didn't have a budget in the very beginning. So a lot of the stuff that has happened yet, it's been baptism by fire. So I don't want you all to make the same mistakes that I made. Every day is not going to be sunshine and roses. I have been very blessed and very fortunate that we have great clients. We haven't lost any clients. But there have been some days where we've had valley moments. But for the most part, it's been spectacular. And, it's really enough business going around. So I want to train others. I don't want to be a best kept secret. And again, entrepreneurship is an outstanding thing to do. You want to leave a legacy for your families, and you want to leave a legacy in your community. So yes, that's part of our passion, part of our vision for the future of KSTV.
Awesome. That is a great thing that you're doing. I'm definitely interested, and I'm just privileged to learn as much as I can learn from you. I have people oftentimes meeting me down that they leave behind, who she'll be with us a little bit later.
Oh, great.
But, people, they really want to know, how can they write this? Because not everybody has the money to start a business and run it the way that, they want to run it. You do have to have something to start with. You do have to have a small budget to start with, something to start with. But if you make the effort, you take the initiative, you invest a few of your coins, you'll be surprised at how many organizations are out there, what type of grants are out there, what type of corporations are willing to sponsor you and support you. Give some examples of the type of grants that are available to people.
Yes, absolutely. Well, first and foremost, there are several housing grants available, HUD grants. There are grants for veterans. There are grants for women. There are grants. Right now, we're working on a very large grant to eradicate childhood hunger. There are so many food deserts in Atlanta. Oh my goodness, the possibilities of grants are really endless. We have a great client right now that we're working with who's helping non-custodial fathers to see their children, get their rights to see their children. Grants available for that. Oh my goodness, it's just amazing. After school programs, we're working on a grant right now for a daycare center. And this grant will help kids who are not yet kindergarten ready get ready. Yes, so the daycares that we're working with are all in Southwest Atlanta, and I have to give a shameless plug. I'm actually a native Atlantan. I'm a Grady baby. I want people to know that I'm from Adamsville, and I really support my community. I go back over there often. It's just a wonderful thing to be able to go back and say, you know what, when I talk to young people there, I was exactly where you are. And if I can make it, you can make it. Graduate of Atlanta Public and Fulton County Schools. So, I'm very passionate about Atlanta, Southwest Atlanta, all of Atlanta, really. So I want you all to know there are grants available for just about anything that you want to do. All you need to do is call our office, speak with me or one of my great associates, and tell them what you're trying to do. But I stress the importance of due diligence. You must do your diligence. That means getting certified with the state of Georgia, getting your EIN number. I tell people all the time, we're going to do this right the first time. So we won't have to go back and redo it. When you talked about the investment, small investment in starting your business, $100 to register with the Secretary of State. Your EIN number is free. And then you actually really need to sit down and decide what you're trying to do. A business plan, if you will. So it doesn't have to be fancy, but you need to know what direction you're going in.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, for individuals that's listening in right now, they're saying, wow, I want to know more. Give us a great phone number. What phone number, email address, website, give us all that good information.
Okay. Our website is www.kstbenterprises.com. And our phone number is 770-756-7565. And email address is kstb@kstbenterprises.com. A lot of people ask me, oh, what does KSTB stand for? And KS is my maiden name, Kim Sellers. And the TB is my husband and my children, Tadero Bates, Taylor Bates, and Tadero Bates II. So yes, that's what the KSTB stands for.
Also, I knew from the workshop you were saying that it was a family name, but I didn't really know your husband or your kids name start with the T.
Yes, and you know what? I actually have to give my husband credit for this. He is the one that came up with KSTB. You know, I pretend I did, but
I know he was also the one that encouraged you too.
He was, so you know, and I do have to give him his props. Ladies, there are great men out there. We actually met as freshmen at Alabama State University. We were both in the band, so we celebrated. He played trumpet, and I was a stingette. We got married in 1992, so we celebrated 25 years last year.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, and both of our kids, thank God, are grown. Our son, he's 19, he's freshman in college, and our daughter is 23, and she is really taking off in her career. She actually is an aspiring flight attendant. So, yeah, so we're very proud of her. So, I'm proud of both of my babies.
Yes, I met one of your daughters from the
Yes, you met her.
Yes.
Thank you.
There are a lot of great people, men and women out here.
Yes.
You just have to, prepare yourself for yourself when the right person comes along.
That's right.
Because my husband, he's a great guy too. He's very supportive, and hopefully he'll support me on the foundation that
He absolutely will.
I'm very passionate about just helping people and ending homelessness.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the things hopefully I'll be working on.
And you are one of the kindest people. Oh, very sweet. Have such a beautiful spirit. So I'm just, again, so honored and elated to be here, to see you again. I want to tell you that, quite honestly, there are no disadvantages of becoming a nonprofit. I really want to encourage people because the need is so great. We have someone that we established as a nonprofit who does something quite unique. She goes to elderly people's homes and runs errands for them. There is a grant for that. Yes, so she goes to the grocery store for them. She picks up their prescriptions. They're housebound. One of the most fun grants that we got last year is, again, for people who are housebound. They don't have to be elderly, but they are housebound. This grant is a virtual reality grant. So because they can't leave their homes, they can work out at home now using this virtual app. So it's like they're in a whole classroom full of people. And you know what? And it cut down on the loneliness that they feel because they, oftentimes feel isolated if you can't leave your home. But that grant was really big. It's very, very large. It was very large grant. And I know that it's needed. So when I tell you there are grants available for all kind of things, now please don't call us and ask us for a grant to pay off your car.
Right.
Or a student loan.
Right. Not happening.
Now those, but we have been able to get grants for people for house repairs. However, there are a lot of stipulations. They have to be in a certain community, and the state or the city has said, yes, this area right here is an empowerment zone, so we will repair. But again, you need to call us. We have our own database of grants. We get a data dump every night at midnight to tell us what grants are available. So please contact us. We are excited to talk to you, to work with you. The need is really, really great out there. And just for whatever your passion is to help your community, please just call us.
You heard what she said. She said she has a database.
Yes, we do.
That database is disseminated at midnight. Any type of grant that you think of, she can go into her database and search.
Yes.
Now, I know that you just said there are no disadvantages of being a nonprofit organization, but can you please tell our listeners and those individuals that may be interested in starting a nonprofit organization that there are some rules and regulations that they have to follow?
Yes.
Don't just think that because you get this grant, you can do what you want to do.
Cannot do
with
what
it.
you want to do.
If you get a grant for X, Y, and Z, you have to use that grant for X, Y, and Z.
Yes.
So please explain that process to
Absolutely.
people and inform, you know.
Okay. Yes, you are absolutely right. There are several types of grants, and let's just, for the purpose of this conversation, talk about general operating versus programmatic grants. When you have a general operating grant, you can do whatever you need to do with it for your nonprofit. Not for you personally, but for your nonprofit. If you need iPads, you can purchase those. If you decide you want to give some people some raises, you can do that. If you want to expand programs, you can do that. Those are general operating grants. Now, if you have a restricted grant where a company gives you money for 10 iPads, that's what you have to do with it. It's very important that you keep very good records. You must have a bank account for the nonprofit. You can't ever merge those funds with your personal business. And you have to keep good records. There are receipts that you have to keep. What I do with my clients is I give them a notebook. When we first start, it has a copy of their 501c3 application. It has their articles of incorporation, their bylaws, their officers, all of those kind of things. And then there's a section for them to keep their financials every month. You'll have board meetings, which, board members are so important to your nonprofit because they too help you remain in compliance. So yes, you have to keep good records. You can't just do what you want to do with this money. Again, if they give you money to fund 25 children to go to the Atlanta Braves game, that's what you do with that money. So you really have to have a business sense and be dedicated to what you're doing. If you're going to start a nonprofit, do it for the right reasons, not because you're trying to get, pad your bank account or anything like that. If you're servicing veterans, service the veterans. Have solid programs for them. And funders now are very, very smart. They're not just accepting anything. They want reports from you. They want financials from you. And they want to see your board minutes to make sure that you are doing everything that you said you were going to do with their money. It's also very important that you communicate with the community. Let the community know what you're doing. Let your funders know what you're doing. Let the people that you're serving know what you're doing. It's just very important. Your work is really needed. I can't tell you how important becoming a nonprofit is for the right reasons.
Yes, absolutely. If you don't think that you can handle running a nonprofit organization for the right reasons, if you're in it for yourself, please don't do it.
Just don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it at all. But if you have a genuine passion in the area, helping people helping your community, you have a legitimate business.
Yes.
There may be, a grant for you. You may be able to start a nonprofit sector of a business that you already have in existence. Possibly, that's something that we're looking at doing here at Studio 21 TV.
Right.
We would love to have young men and women come in and learn about digital media, about media and television as well. So if you have a passion for something, there is a way that you can turn that passion into doing something good for your community.
One thing that I try to explain to people, they're complaining about the crime rate. People are getting out of prison every day. Young people are just not choosing to work. It's just really sad. One thing I want to encourage you all to do is a workforce development program. Work with these companies and train people how to work. Some people just simply don't know. They do not know. So we have several clients that we've established workforce development programs with where they have a partnership. So my client trains people on how to dress to go to work, how to interview, how to submit a resume, how to do things on the computer or whatever the field is they're interested in. So the partnerships are with these companies, and the companies have formally agreed to hire so many of the people who graduate from the program. So workforce development programs are needed. Everyone's not meant to go to college. And that's something that people are realizing now. Do you know how much plumbers make? So if you have a program where you want to train, and it doesn't have to be that you're training young people. There are other people who are starting second careers. They may have been displaced from their job, and they want to do something else. There are, again, so many possibilities for starting a nonprofit.
There are a lot of possibilities out there, and we want to just remind our listeners and our viewers, anyone that's viewing via YouTube or Facebook Live right now, that you can feel free to give us a call here at the studio. Please give us a call. The number here is 404-474-0080, and we also want to remind our listeners and our viewers that if you have an interest in starting your own show, you can give our office a call at 404-462-8182. That number again is 404-462-8182. We are talking to Mrs. Kimberly Sellers Dates. We are delighted to have her here today. She's given us all the tea on how to start a nonprofit organization the right way.
The first time.
No backtracking.
Yes.
She is giving us some great, vital information about starting a nonprofit organization and how she began as an entrepreneur with KSTV Enterprises. Tell us some exciting things about KSTV Enterprises and your upcoming events and what you have going on.
One of the most exciting things that I'm doing now is a vlog. My daughter, the 23-year-old, tells me, Mommy, you have to keep up with the times. And the interesting thing about me is that, I always thought I was cool, I was hip, I was all that kind of stuff. But now that I have some millennials on my team, they kind of gang up on me with my daughter. So, yes, now we're doing webinars. So I'm really loving these webinars. I do love to talk. I'm one of those people, though, that I guess I'm a little bit behind the times. I still get the AJC. Delivered. If it's not there in the mornings, I call the AJC, where is my paper? And remind myself of my mother. But, most people love books on tape, or I don't even know if they call it tape anymore, whatever. But I still love books. So and you see that I've written a book. I wrote a book called Get Grant Ready a couple years ago. And now the second book, which is a guidebook, and then the third book that's coming out is Not Even the Sky is the Limit, where it will talk even more in-depthly about the grants and things. But so those are some exciting things. The webinars are awesome. I love the webinars. Also, we're doing a lot of classes now. People are requesting me to come and speak, which is so exciting because I know a lot of people have an intense fear of public speaking. I love it. I think it's one of the greatest things ever.
And you are so awesome.
Thank you.
You're so awesome.
Thank you. You know what? And I'm always trying to improve myself. So thank you for saying that I'm an awesome speaker, but I'm actually about to take a Toastmasters class. Yes, because I want to, when people come to see me, I want to give good, vital information, and I want to make sure that I'm communicating effectively. So exciting things is coming up in March. We have a Not Even the Sky is the Limit class that's coming. It's a 3-week course that starts March 14th. It's on Wednesday nights from 6 to 8 p.m. What it does is for people who are already established as a nonprofit organization, we work with this class to do the fundraising plan, to learn how to research grants, not just using our database, but other databases. And the best thing about this class is that at the end of the 3-week session, you will have submitted a grant, a real grant. So whether it's for your nonprofit or for a friend's nonprofit or a colleague's nonprofit, you will have submitted a real grant. And that is worth so much because I'm there with you to say, hey, don't say it this way, let's say it that way. And your peers are there. And there will be professional grant reviewers there.
That's awesome. And I want to encourage our viewers and our listeners that if you have a passion and you have the desire to start a nonprofit organization and you're in the Metro Atlanta area, or if you're not in the Metro Atlanta area, I believe there's going to be a webinar for it.
There will be a webinar.
Now, the cost of this class, I'll be attending as well. I'm going to make a sacrifice to attend the class, but it's affordable if you are starting a nonprofit organization or you already have a nonprofit organization in existence, because it truly will help. But the course is $250.
That's right.
She will work with you and allow you to break those payments down over a 3-week period.
Yes.
If you have a nonprofit organization, can we use this like as a business expense or no?
You know what?
How does that work?
Actually, it is a part of your training and development, so you can. Yes, absolutely. People have asked us that before, and yes, absolutely. KSTV is a legitimate business. We will fill out the paperwork that is required. We're happy to do that for you. We really want you to know that even if you're not in Atlanta, we want you to participate via webinar. We'll also travel and come to you. We have offices, of course, in Atlanta, in Birmingham, and South Carolina, and Mississippi.
Oh, awesome. That is some awesome information. So we're going to ask that everyone that gets a chance to view this this series today, or gets a chance to view this today, to hit share on social media. Let's get the information out there about what TSB is doing, KSTB is doing. And let's also plan to attend this workshop. We want as many people to attend the workshop as possible. If you're viewing this, it is very, very vital that you support KSTV Enterprises and what they're doing. She has a flood of clients, I'm sure. However, we're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it going because we want to support her, and we want her to continue our mission with helping us and our goals to start nonprofit organizations. Now she's venturing off into for-profit, so please share the information. Contact her office again. Can you give us your number again?
Yes, it's 770-756-7565. And can I say one thing? Thank you for saying that we have a lot of clients, and we really do, and we're so thankful. That's part of the reason why I'm having these grant writing consulting classes. I'm actually hiring people who complete the grant writing consulting classes. I actually hired someone yesterday. Yes, I was so impressed with what she was doing, her focus, her vision, her organizational skills. I actually hired her. And so, yes, just yesterday, I just felt like, and I do feel this way, people who go through my classes, I know they know what they're doing because they have worked with me in a very intimate setting I won't take over 10 people in my classes so that I can work with you one-on-one. Now, we were only having classes once a week. Now it's twice a week. We're even having Saturday classes. But you know what? I can't do everything by myself. So if you're interested in grant writing, if you're interested in research to find the money, please take one of our classes, because that's where I'm plucking my consultants from. I am, yes. So either full-time employment, part-time employment, or as a consultant. I need you. I need you all to come to these classes so that I'll know that you're properly trained. We talk about everything. We have role play. We do all kind of things to make sure that you are adequately prepared. You know, sadly, I've had people to go out into the community and say they work for me, and they don't. One man, elderly gentleman, went to some daycares to try to get clients. And he had printed up brochures and everything with my logo on it and said that he worked for me. Well, he went to the wrong, well, in my case, the right daycare, because the owner knew me. And she said, there's no way this man works for Kim. And she called me. She took his materials and you know, acted like she was interested in his services, took all of his materials, told him to call her tomorrow. And instead of that happening, our attorney called him. So, you know, we have some weird stories, but for the most part, 99.9% have been just great stories, great experiences. When you work for yourself, it is the most fulfilling job in the world. I have had an opportunity to raise my children. As I said, they're grown now. I was always at their schools. I mean, they didn't always like it. I was always homeroom mom. I was always there, which is what I wanted. I actually had control over my time, and I still do. I'm able to work in my community, in my church, you know, do family things. It's a wonderful, wonderful experience. I'm telling you, I wouldn't trade this journey for anything in the world.
Now, just heard what she said. She's looking for quality individuals that can become grant writing consultants. You have to do it from a great place. Don't think that you can become a grant writing consultant to, you know, get a few coins or you have to be a certain type of person to research this information, to find, you know, the right grants. And then you also have to be a certain type of person to recognize the information that Ms. Kimberly teaches you and apply it the right way. Don't do like the guy did, and he might have attended a workshop or something and ran out there and took her material. Like, no, you have to be a certain type of person to even write grants for businesses. I am very much interested in trying to get a nonprofit sector, as I said before, for Studio 21. I know that our president, Mr. George Jones, the owner of the station, he doesn't have time to look for, you know, the grants, get the paperwork in order, plan out the fundraising and all of that. He doesn't have time for that. So he needs a special type of person like myself, or, you know, even an organization or a company that you may, someone listening or viewing may be a part of. It takes a special type of person to be a grant writing consultant or to compile this information, and you have to do it from a great place, a great spirit, because it's time consuming, it's reading involved. You have to make sure that everything they want in those grants is completed the right way. You can't just halfway do something and then think it's going to fly. No, people.
And you know, that's why I am hiring people who have gone through my training. Because not only do I have an opportunity to teach you, but I actually have an opportunity to observe you and your work. And if you have a lackadaisical attitude in the class, or rushing through everything in the class, or hanging out on social media the entire time in the class, then you're not going to be on my short list. But you know, people now, when they interview people, they really try to get to know you. And of course, there are some questions that are off limits and things like that. But if I have someone in the class, like the young lady that I hired yesterday, I had an opportunity to see how organized she was, how focused, how driven, how determined she was to make me see that she was really passionate about her program. And so when I realized that I needed someone else on my team, and that's a whole long process. You go through the CPA, you read through everything, trying to say, oh my goodness, do I have, this budget to hire someone else? But her face popped in my mind. And I just remembered her, and I went back through and looked through her folder of things, and I said, you know what, she is the perfect one. And so when I called her, she was really surprised and very elated. But she impressed me so. So always remember, whether you are visiting a potential client or whatever you're doing, put your best foot forward. Like you just said, don't rush through things. When you are a grant writer, people are actually surprised that I'm a grant writer because I talk so much. But remember, I'm also a business owner. So the buck stops with me. I have to get the clients. I have to cultivate the clients. And remember, the same thing you did to get the clients, the same thing you have to do to keep your clients. So I do it all. Oprah said a long time ago that you need to know as much about your business as you can. And that's what I've tried to do now. I'm not a finance girl, so I have someone that's an expert in finance. And so, I have a team of people. But in terms of the real meat and potatoes of what KSTV does, I will not let things go out of my office without signing off. I'm up every night till about 1:30, signing off on things, reviewing things, because at the end of the day, KSTV's name is on it. And I want to make sure that everything that we send out is, quality. It's good quality.
Very, very
yes,
very important. So we want to remind our viewers and our listeners again about your upcoming courses, your upcoming events, where they can find you on social media.
Yes, please find us. Our next seminar will be Not Even the Sky is the Limit from 6 to 8 p.m. in Atlanta, in South Fulton. Please call our office at 770-756-7565 to register. Also, please like us on Facebook at KSTV Enterprises. We're on Twitter at KSTV, and I send out grant announcements, board training information. I'm actually doing a board training on the 7th. If you have a group, a church group, a civic group or organization that's interested in grant writing, call me. I will come to your group, no matter where you are in the United States. Also, I'm available for speaking engagements, for conferences. Please call me. I love to speak. I'm a motivational speaker. And again, I encourage entrepreneurship. I want us to be the best people that we can possibly be, and also be the best people we can be for our communities. So again, our next seminars are the 14th, 21st, and 20th of March. Those are in-person classes. The webinar is the 15th, the 22nd, and the 29th. And all the information can be found on our website at kstventerprises.com.
Well, thank you so much for once again being here with us today, Ms. Kimberly Sellers Bates. I truly enjoyed my time with you today. I look forward to attending the upcoming workshops, meeting after the show again today, and also just seeing how many people that are able to use the information, because this information is great use in our community. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. This has been wonderful.
Thank you. It's been wonderful having you here. We want to remind our viewers and our listeners once again that if you have an interest in finding more information out about our studio here at Studio 21, hosting your own show or anything of that nature, please give us a call at 404-462-8182. We once again thank all of our viewers and listeners for tuning in today with Ms. Kimberly Sellers Bates. Please make sure that you follow her on social media. We're going to close out with the same motivational meeting that we started with, and I hope that everyone has a blessed week. Remember that empowerment is about becoming stronger and more confident in one's own walk with the Most High Creator. Never give anyone or anything power over you. With that being said, I hope that everyone has a great day, and thank you so much for tuning in.
Much is required. And so the more that is placed into your hands, the more you have to be able to handle and deal with and to be able to manage it. And I want to say something to you, to those of you, all of us are leaders in some way. All of us are leaders, whether you're leading your children or whether you're leading your family or just leading yourself. Sometimes it's hard to get yourself to act right. But as we go up in levels of leadership and we begin to develop more responsibility, we also begin to embrace more pressure and more problems and more adversity. And new levels bring new devils, bring new challenges, bring new opportunities, more of everything. Somebody just say more of everything. So when you are where you are right now and you say, I can't take this, I can't handle this, I don't want anymore, this is driving me crazy, you are saying, I don't want to go any higher. You are rejecting the call to move forward, because moving forward and moving up means more problems. In fact, the problems that you're dealing with right now may be the fact that you are in training for the next level of leadership. If you don't let it break you, if you don't let it destroy you, if you don't